Welcome to another episode of HKEX Voice, our podcast series featuring insights from our senior executives and industry leaders on Hong Kong's financial markets. I'm your host, 𝗙gie 𝗹𝗹𝗪𝗓. Climate action is a very hot topic, pun fully intended, and one of HKEX's key priorities. As a regulator, market operator, and a corporate, we have an important responsibility to help drive the transition to a low-carbon and sustainable economy, and supporting net zero in Hong Kong, in mainland China, and in the region. Today, we are very pleased to have Glenda 𝗙dzie 𝗹𝗹𝗪𝗓, HKEX's co-head of markets, to talk about the opportunities in Asia-Pacific's net zero transition and HKEX's strategic goals to developing new businesses in carbon and ESG data. Glenda leads a team in the markets division that is actively exploring emerging business opportunities in carbon, ESG, data, digital assets, and beyond. Welcome to our podcast, Glenda.
Thanks, 𝗙rie. It's my pleasure.
So, Glenda, let me start with the first question. How is Asia-Pacific faring in the journey to net zero? What are your observations about the role of capital markets in the transition to a low-carbon and sustainable economy?
Well, the key markets in the APAC region, like China, India, Singapore, they are working hard, but still need a lot of more work and investment driving towards net zero by 2050. And in many ways, Asia can make an impact on climate change and has a key role to play in global migration efforts. On the emission side, Asia global greenhouse gas emission have grown from a share of 25% to 45% in the past 30 years. On the other side, policymakers and business leaders are formulating adaptation strategies. Capital markets have an important role to play. To meet net zero objective, an estimated investment needed for the region will be of a range of $26 to $37 trillion, depending on whether it's 1.5 degree or the 2 degree scenario, cumulative from 2020 to 2050 for energy supply alone. And we know when capital is steered effectively, we see results. One example is the price of solar electricity dropped 89% over the last decade. Capacity increased as a result of huge investment in research.
Thanks, Glenda. There's definitely a lot of growth potential and development opportunities in the carbon space in this region. Now, going back to HKEX, we recently launched the Hong Kong International Carbon Council in partnership with a number of leading corporates and financial institutions. Can you share a bit about this initiative and how it fits into HKEX's broader sustainability goals?
Thanks for the questions, 𝗙rie. I'm really excited about the International Carbon Council. This is the first step in our carbon journey. We are bringing in a network of leading corporates and financial institutions who are serving as council members, providing us with insights on developing a Hong Kong-based international carbon markets. Our members come from diverse backgrounds, representing both the supply and demand side, intermediaries, as well as market infrastructure providers of carbon trading infrastructure. Their industry knowledge and expertise will be invaluable to our work in the carbon space.
So, Glenda, do you expect the Carbon Council's membership to increase over time?
We see the Carbon Council as an evolving entity. With time, more participants and stakeholders who share the same vision will join the Council to collectively embark on the net zero journey.
So, Glenda, you mentioned about developing a carbon market in Hong Kong. How will your engagement with the International Carbon Market Council help to realize that goal?
The Hong Kong International Carbon Market Council will play a vital role in supporting our visions to build a leading carbon market. They give us advice, they give us feedback, they share expertise and best practice for the development of the entire ecosystem. The natural starting point for us is the voluntary carbon market space. We are actively looking at the development of a number of relevant products, including project-based carbon credits. Ultimately, our goal is to build an effective, transparent, and sustainable voluntary market, contribute to the global efforts of net zero.
So, Glenda, China is the biggest market in the region, and by extension, the most important, if we hope to make a real difference to our climate. How could Hong Kong and HKEX work with the mainland China market to support the development of a liquid carbon trading system and the promotion of net zero?
China is the single biggest carbon market in the region, and China has committed to peak emissions by 2030 and net zero by 2060. Mainland China market is still in its initial stage, and Hong Kong as a leading international financial center and a superconnector between China and international markets has the potential to become a global hub for carbon trading, which is vital to an effective carbon market price discovery. And having effective carbon price discovery will go far to support the development of the market.
So how do we create the right conditions to have the perfect or appropriate price discovery?
The answer is simple: supply and demand. Our objective is to create a platform where supplier and the people that demand for carbon credit can come to our marketplace to do that price discovery. Hong Kong and HKEX is a well-known trading center, and we have a natural role to play in developing a carbon ecosystem. We are actively working with our mainland partners to explore opportunities to develop an effective carbon trading ecosystem. As you know, our newly formed International Carbon Market Council has a meaningful mainland representation. We made an investment in Guangzhou Future Exchange for product collaboration. As well, we signed an MOU with China Emission Exchange to explore collaborations in tackling climate change and promoting sustainability through carbon finance. And Jeffrey, ultimately, the goal is really to create a vibrant ecosystem of sustainable and green investment products, including carbon, supporting companies on their transition to low-carbon economy and more sustainable business model.
Indeed. Glenda, how do you see the future development of green and sustainable finance? What are HKEX's longer-term ambitions in leading the sustainability space?
Global ESG asset under management is forecast to double to $50 trillion from 2020 to 2025, of which Asia is expected to be a key driver of growth, with ESG AUM quintuple from $90 billion in the third quarter of 2021 to more than $500 billion by 2025. HKEX played a unique role, connecting capital and opportunities, linking East and West as a pioneer of green initiative. We want to lead the way in broadening the diversity of green investment product and encouraging issuers to seize the opportunity to create a more sustainable futures for all in Hong Kong, mainland China, and beyond. Besides the development of carbon and green investment product, we continue working on the ESG space, especially on ESG data and the development of 𝗙gie, our green and sustainable data repository.
Wow. So Glenda, when do you think we'll get more updates about these exciting initiatives?
Watch the space.
Indeed, I will keep watching. Right, Glenda, last question for you. Green and sustainable finance is just one part of the emerging business development function here at HKEX. How is the team structured to help set these strategies in motion?
HKEX's vision is to build the marketplace of the future, and we're always looking for emerging business opportunity to take advantage of exciting megatrends that are shaping our markets, such as carbon, ESG, digital asset, and data. We have a great team of colleagues and experts to drive this journey. In this new structure, 𝗙ន់ will focus on our product team, including carbon and ESG product. Daniel Saunders will lead our data effort, including exchange and ESG data. Andrew Wharton will lead the digital asset space. With the new structure, we will focus on the delivery of our strategy.
Glenda, these are very exciting plans. And for the carbon and ESG efforts in particular, a vital part of our commitment to ensure the continued sustainable development of our economies and our markets. So we look forward to more updates on HKEX's emerging business space, and we will be watching this space. Glenda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot.
For all our new listeners, if you want to learn more about this podcast or HKEX's markets, please visit us at our website at hkex.com.hk. From all of us here at HKEX Voice, thank you for listening and keep an ear out for our next episode. So long.